Gascoigne was sent off during his side's defeat today by Manchester United. It happened after he'd complained about a decision by the referee Vic Callow, who said that the player used abusive language. Gascoigne said that if he did swear, his remarks were not directed at the referee. Terry Venables, the Spurs manager, described the dismissal as harsh and said he'd considered the possibility that Gascoigne's high profile may have been a factor. Brian McClare settled the match with a goal in the last minute. Earlier, Ronnie Rosenthal scored one goal and made another in Liverpool's emphatic victory over Leeds. Alan Smith's 11th goal in 10 games gave Arsenal victory at Manchester City. And David Platt scored both of Aston Villa's goals to beat Crystal Palace. Those results leave the top four unchanged, but with Liverpool and Arsenal pulling away from the rest. Manchester United swap places with Tottenham. England's cricketers have suffered another humiliating defeat by Australia in the latest game of the World Series Cup in Sydney. Replying to Australia's 221 for 7, they were bowled out for 153, losing their last 8 wickets for 50 runs.
Almost inevitably, England's latest disaster opened on a note of high promise. David Boone trapped by Fraser for 4 as Australia fumbled their way to 93 for 5. But the fumbling was about to afflict English hands as Tufnell made an embarrassing hash of a run-out. Then O'Donnell and Mark Waugh, neither of whom can make the Test team, turned the match with a record stand of 112 to the 6th wicket. Though Gooch and Larkins initially fashioned a spirited response, England's speciality in ambush. 65 runs were on the board when the captain departed for 37. What followed would have been scarcely credible had it not all happened before. Carelessness accounted for Smith for 1. Then Stewart's foolhardiness summed up England's approach as he became the first of 3 victims for Alan Border's innocuous left-arm spin. When Fraser holed out to Boone, England had lost all 10 wickets for 88. The last 8 for 50. To reach the final, they must beat Australia in their last match and score more than 220 in the process.
Seagram won the big race of the day, the ASW Handicap Chase at Cheltenham. The field contained several possible Grand National runners. Peter Bromley describes the closing stages.
And it's Seagram on the far side of Bonanza Boy. They're in the air together. Hugh Davis gets to work on Bonanza Boy. Hugh Davis on the stand side. Seagram's hanging right across the course. Seagram's coming right across and pushing her. Hugh Davis across to the stand side. But Seagram now has the lead by about 2.5 lengths on the line. Seagram wins it.
And Bonanza Boy came in second, and the Langham Dyer took 3rd place.
And that's the news on New Year's Day. Breakfast News is back tomorrow morning on BBC1 at 6:30.
Hello. The high ground in Devon had a gust to 96 miles an hour this evening. We're still getting gusts to 70 miles an hour in exposed parts of the south and west as these weather fronts rush rather quickly eastwards across the country. These fronts clearing away during tomorrow, except from the extreme south there. A less windy day, but still pretty windy, and plenty of showers in the north and west particularly. At the moment it's heavy driving rain in many places, but drier weather will spread from the northwest during the course of the night to most places, and the snow will continue to thaw over the high ground in the north. With all that wind, a fairly mild night, no frost anywhere, and the thaw continuing in northern districts. Tomorrow, a brighter day for most of us. A lot of cloud over these southern counties of England at times, and in the Channel Islands with some rain in places, but for most of us, a bright and rather windy day. Plenty of showers in the north and west, and those showers gradually turning more wintry on the high ground over Scotland. And gales, yes, gales, again, in exposed western districts. Those are the average wind speeds at midday tomorrow. But temperatures for most of us, not too bad, in spite of that strong wind. About 8 Celsius, 46 Fahrenheit. A slightly colder day, we think, on Thursday, with sunshine, and in the north and west, wintry showers in many places.
This Wednesday, Wogan's in Hollywood with James Caan and Lindsay Wagner.
Push.
At 7:35, Dr. Doogie's in the doghouse.
Jack, Curly. Meet Russell.
At 8, the return of the waterfront beat. You too.
Why,
instead of or as well as everything else we've got on?
As well as?
More high flyers as QED examines the problems of transporting racehorses halfway round the world.
There's nothing funny about a horse trying to kick its way out of an aeroplane at 35,000 feet.
At 10 o'clock, Jeff Bridges and Jane Fonda face The Morning After.
Sergeant Greenbaum.
I'm calling about a body.
Oh.
I didn't do it.
And Night of the Demon wraps up Wednesday on BBC1.
Two very different films for the rest of this Tuesday night. At 10 to 12, Sid James, Kenneth Williams and Hattie Jakes invite you to carry on at your convenience. Before that, if you have garlic, prepare to crush it now. Horror and humour with The Lost Boys.